Hey guys, EJ again. So I'm coming out with a tier list here today that I did last night with my stream. But before I put it out, I want to do a little disclaimer. All right, this is a tier list based off of what the average player can do. All right, I know a lot of you guys out there watch rank 1 players, AWC players, and they're just crushing on whatever spec they're on. Right, like this streamer does this streamer does that. That doesn't mean the average player can do what they're doing, right? The average ability of the spec is what I put together. Um, and it's also as least biased as possible. What I mean by that is some of you out there are going to look at this tier list and be like, this class destroys my class. That doesn't mean the class in general is good, right? Or the spec in general is good. For an instance, an enhancement shaman is really good into Shadow Priest, right? You know, just we all know it's not a secret. Enhancement isn't the best. But if you're a Shadow Priest and you're always losing to an Enhancement Shaman or you're always losing to another spec, that doesn't mean that spec is overall god tier. But you might think it is. So, quick disclaimer on that, alright? This is based off of my experience on the beta and as least biased as possible when it comes to just because something beats another class or rank 1 players do this. I want it to be an average tier list. So, there's people going into the War Within have a clear idea, or at least my opinion of a clear idea of what classes can do what. So just a disclaimer before we hop into the video. I took feedback from the stream during the video, so just let me know what you guys think. And here we go. All right, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna take opinions from the chat. All right, we're gonna take opinions from the chat. So let's go ahead and we'll do tanks like you said. We'll put them in D. We'll just put them in D because who cares about tanks? Prop Warrior, and where's Prop Pally? Prop Pally. All right, all right, all right. We're gonna do this official EJ tier list based off the beta. All right, not based off pre-patch, none of that. This is what I think is gonna be going into the first season if no changes happen. I do expect changes to happen, but we'll just go in order. All right, so first things first, I got a Q pop. Hold on, I got a soul shuffle Q. We're gonna ignore it. All right, we're gonna ignore the soul shuffle Q. Let it go through, but it's okay. Anyways, Frost DK. So we all know that Frost DK got nerfed, but their consistent pressure actually does an insane amount of damage. I forgot Brewmaster. Thank you. They still do a lot of pad damage and consistent goes. So we're gonna go ahead and I feel like Frost DK is at least going to be B or A tier based on the comps they play. I think any DK actually can be A tier, to be honest with you. I mean, their go is actually it just does so much damage. Yeah, you can trade with it, but outside of the go, they still have consistent pressure. And it got nerfed. So, actually no. I don't think it's as good as Unholy, so we're going to put it B tier. I don't think it's as good as Unholy, so we're going to put it as B tier, just because it's easier to trade against. And then Unholy, I think it's A or S, but I feel like after the nerfs, they're not overpowered. They do a lot of damage on their go, which is pretty consistent also, and they're able to keep up the entire game on people. Like, you can't kite them anymore with their horsies and their grips. So I'm going to say they're A tier. I don't think they're broken. So with the consistent pressure and the comp they have available, like the Walking Dead, Ret DK, Feral DK, Shadow Priest DK, Mage DK, like they have a lot of A to S tier comps available to them, but them themselves, I think they're A, right? Right? Frosty KB, yeah. What do you guys think about the Unholy? Is that fair? Unholy DK can still do an insane amount of damage, and has way better utility. I'd say S. I don't think they're S. S is like broken, right? Like just because they do an insane amount of damage and they have utility, I don't think they're broken, right? I don't think they're a broken class. I don't think people are way too quick to put things on S tier. S tier is like, you gotta look at this. They should get nerfed. They need to change some things. I don't think Unholy is that level. I think they need a little tuning here and there with like a difference of their death coil spams and stuff, and put that allocation to something different. But I don't think they're broken. Like, I think they're great. I think they're an A tier. A tier is fine. Okay, so I agree with that. Havoc Demon Hunter. I honestly, every one I've queued into has been like mid. Like I haven't seen any crazy amount of one shots or pressure. When I queued an MVQ, he did a lot of damage, and it was pretty pressurable. But it wasn't like how it would be if I fought against him in Dragonflight, right? So for that regard, if the best of the best demon hunters don't make me like shit my pants, I feel like it's B tier, right? Because any other demon hunter is not going to feel that crazy. So in my opinion, I feel like they can die and they're not insane damage, which they do great damage. It's just not as broken as it used to be. So I think it's B. Havoc is S tier in Blitz, but Arena is blah. Yeah, I mean, I will take into consideration blitzes, but a lot of things for tuning wise is really hard to say this is good in Blitz, especially because no Blitz has been played on the beta, right? Like, we don't know how strong they are on beta compared to they are on pre-patch, but on pre-patch, yeah, they're insane. But even then, like, it's Demon Hunter, they're still gonna be good in any RBG scenario for their mobility at least. But I don't think I generally cater my tiers to like Arena and Soul Shuffle. And I think in Arenas and Soul Shuffle, they're probably B. Like, I think they're just middle of the pack. I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're insane. I think they're middle of the pack. Do we agree on that? True? We're all in agreement on this one? Yeah? Okay. Alright. Boomkin. I don't care what people say. I think Boomkin's gonna be S tier. It might not be S tier right now, but I think it's gonna be S tier. With Cyclone and all the instant pressure they can pull, I think they're gonna be one of the best casters in the game, and especially in Soul Shuffle. And they have good damage, but again, you can't beat Cyclone. I would say maybe A tier right now, but I think if after some tuning comes in and all that, I think they're gonna be S tier, man. If it gets buffed, I think if anything's getting nerfed, right? I think if anything gets nerfed, it puts Boomkin ahead. Even if they don't get buffed. I think if anything gets nerfed, it puts Boomkin ahead. And it's quick to put it in S tier. Boomkin's insane. Like, they have Cyclone, they have good damage, they don't have to cast. I think if Fury Warrior gets nerfed, this is gonna be insane, right? Like, if Fury Warrior and Feral Druids get a little bit of a nerf, what's gonna beat Boomkin? No? Maybe we'll put on A tier for now. How's that? We'll put on A tier for now, but I think it's gonna be S tier. That's my opinion. I think it's gonna be S tier, but we'll put on A tier for now, guys. All right, Feral Druid S tier. Can't even argue. Best of the melee right now. Feral Druid is the best melee in the game. Like, their bites are insane. Their damage is insane. You can't even argue about it. I do think they're gonna get nerfed on bite. I 100% think that's gonna get nerfed. But as of right now, they are just god. But no, it's definitely the best melee, dude. Outside of Fury Warrior, I think those are the only two melee that are that strong. I think Boomy doesn't have the haste yet to be S tier. I think that we have to think every class doesn't have haste. So I don't know about that, right? Like, every class doesn't have haste. So I don't know. I think Boomy, if a couple nerfs come through and buffs come through, I think Boomy's gonna take it. Yeah, I just think it's gonna take it. So our Druid, it's the second best healer, but I don't think it's like Evoker level, so I'm gonna put on A tier. I don't put everything on S tier, guys. I don't believe everything is S tier, but I do think Druid is so good compared to other healers, but not as good as the preservation. So we're gonna put it on A tier. Good sustainability, good healing, for recovery reasons, and they're tanky. So we're gonna put them here on A tier. Devastation, I think, is also A tier. Devastation Evoker has a lot of damage, all front loaded, and it feels like it lasts forever now. I feel like this lasts just forever, and they don't feel like they die. Like, they used to die, and I feel like they don't die anymore. And they just do more damage consistently than other healers, or than other DPS. So I think it's an A tier personally. Preservation, S tier, S plus tier. Like, best healer. They do insane damage, insane healing, but also they just have sustained healing all the time. Like, no matter how much you burst, they always recover. It's actually broken. I swear they're gonna get a nerf. There's no way they don't. Like, you feel like they're never dying. There's no way. Go ahead and slide Provoker ahead of Feral. Well, that's a DPS and that's a healer, so not the same thing. And then, yeah, they don't really feel like they go either. I agree. Oh man, I think BM's D tier, man. I think BM's down there with the tanks. Not gonna lie, BM. I haven't seen a single BM hunter do any sort of damage at all. Like that it is just garbage. Like, is the worst of the worst. I think healers can outdo the damage of BM. I think it needs some 10 to 11 care. Personally, I think it's the worst of the worst. Survival, I think it's A tier. Could be S tier based on how much its damage profile does, but I think it's A tier based on survivability. Its damage profile is insane on the burst and consistent pressure, kind of up there with the DKs, I would say, on their damage profile, but they die faster than the others. So I definitely think it's stronger than Frost DK and Havoc, but not as strong as these others here. So I'm going to go with it being A tier. Oh, I think it's the best of the Hunter specs. Survival is insane at Blitz. The 1v1 is nasty. Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to be... all Hunters are going to be insane. But Survival, I think, is going to run the Blitz ladder when it comes to the Hunter specs. Marksman, I think, is B tier. It's scary if it's free casting and not getting bullied at all. And has really good burst. But I don't feel like it's scary if you just keep them pressured. Like, even though they can't be kicked and they... and all that, but you know they have very little defenses, and when you put pressure on them, I just feel like they're not scary at all. Like I don't really feel scared of marksman hunters if you're actually hitting them. So that's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like marksman just doesn't put the throughput out that it could, unless it's just free casting. So that's my opinion. Okay, so this is my thing. I think Arcane Mage is right below I think Arcane Mage is right below Frost when it comes to mages. Its burst is disgusting. It is a little easier to shut down with one school of magic, and it actually channels instead of instant cast. But its damage is disgusting. Like, holy crap. Have you guys seen how strong an Arcane Mage can burst people? Like, you die in like 2 seconds. If you let that damage get out, you are gone, destroyed. So, I'm going to put an A tier. Do we have any arguments on A tier Arcane? That's my opinion. Arcane feels good. Yeah, I feel like it's up there. Like I feel like Evoker and Arcane are like the same thing, in my opinion. So, Fire Mage, I think Fire Mage is C tier. I think it's better than BM. I can't put it with BM. I think it is better than a BM Hunter, but it's the weakest of all these specs, and definitely the weakest of all the mages. It's just there's something missing, and I don't know what, but I think it's missing. Seavark says A is good for Arcane, right? So, I guess I'm on point. People who play their own classes are saying I'm rating this properly, so. BM does more damage than Fire? I don't agree. I think Fire is stronger than BM, but it can do more damage, and it can live longer, in my opinion. So, it's 30% above every spec in the game in PvE, so it'll get nerfed. What, Arcane will? You think Arcane's gonna get nerfed? Yeah, really? Well, I guess maybe in well, if it gets nerfed in PvE, it might not affect PvP, because it is, really. Okay, so that's a little... Seavarch is saying that they might get nerfed because of PvE reasons, but if it's not overperforming, I don't think in PvP. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they might tune some things. I just don't feel like it's overperforming like Frost Mage, right? Like, Frost Mage is a clear outlier, right? I don't see them nerfing Arcane. You know what I mean? I think it's like, it's right where it needs to be in PvP. Yeah, exactly. I think it's in a great spot in PvP. Frost Mage, we all know, broken as fuck. One school of fucking spamming eye slants, one button class. Like, this class needs a nerf. They need to make them cast more, less procs, nerf their procs. Like, Frost Mage is disgusting. It needs to get the fuck out of here. But it's broken to not have to cast an ability, and you average 800 to 1 million spammable damage. Like 800,000 to 1 million, that is insane. Like, I don't even want to think about it, but we all know Frost Mage, this thing right here with Feral. Feral needs its bites broken and tuned down, and then imagine FPS, guys, or FMP. Sorry, imagine FMP without no nerfs. Imagine if we had no nerfs. FMP is gonna destroy people, just destroy the ladder, one shot everybody. Like, I'm not looking forward to seeing this. Mistweaver. Mistweaver's really good in Blitz. Really good in Blitz. Not the best in Arena, and I don't think it's as good as our Druid. So I think I'm gonna put this down here at B tier. I don't know a lot of Mistweavers personally, Other than Mystical, but I don't really talk like on a lot with him, so I'd have to ask some people. But if anyone else has any better insight or think that that's wrong, let me know. But I think it's B tier, personally. I feel like it doesn't have the best recovery. It can get shut down, and compared to Arjun and Evoker, like I don't know. Meat Mug, I guess there's Meat Mug, but he plays everything, right? Meat plays everything right now. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it B tier until someone tells me otherwise. I think it's B tier. So, um, Windwalker, I think Windwalker's A tier right now. I think Windwalker, I don't know, it's worse than DK. Let's put the melees in order, right? I want to put melee and casters in order. I think Arcane is better than Boomkin. Boomkin's better than Prez, or sorry, Devastation. I think DK is better than Windwalker and Hunter. Yeah, we're gonna do it like that. We're gonna do it like that. I think this is how it is based on class, right? Arjun's the best A tier healer. Arcane's the best of these casters, and then I think Windwalker's better than Survival Hunter. I agree. I put about as much time into Mistweaver as I have SP in the beta. Okay, so we have an agreement on that one. I think I'm pretty accurate so far on these predictions. Holy Pally I think's B tier with Mistweaver. It has a lot of healing. It can sustain for a bit, but it doesn't have enough answers. Right? I don't think it has enough answers for the 1 minute goes. Everyone has like a 1 minute go now, and I don't think Pally has an answer for it every single time. I think it relies on its teammates to trade properly. So I'm gonna put it on B tier. I think if it gets a couple buffs again, it can go back to A tier. But I think it's gonna be B tier for now. It received a couple of nerfs, and I don't think it has the same sustain as an Ardruid. So I'm gonna put it down here at the B with the Mistweaver. We're gonna move this around too. Rep Pally is A or S. I actually don't know where to put it. I think it's the best of the A tier melee, but I also think it could be S in the right team comps. Right? Like maybe A plus. If I'm not doing A plus, S plus, all that. I don't believe in that. Like you're either an S class or you're an A class. Like I think it's the best of the A's, possibly the worst of the S. But I'm gonna put it as A tier for now, just because S tier in my mind is broken. Right? If you're an S tier class, you're broken. You need to be looked at. But we're gonna put it as, I mean, it's toolkit, right? With sync, with stuns, with heals, with magic bop. Like it's so good. So we're gonna put it here as best of the A's, in my opinion. So, let's see. Disc Priest, I think it's right. I don't know. I think it's right behind Druid. I think it's A. It's almost there with Druid. I would think it's like maybe the third best healer. Disc over Ardruid? I don't believe that. I don't. I think Disc can be shut down a lot more than an Ardruid can in top tier metas. I think it just gets to shut down too much. Ardruid has a lot more sustain, has control, can go and get meld drinks. I don't think it's better than Druid. I don't. I think it goes Prez. I think it goes Prez, Ardruid, Disc Priest. Disc Priest is just so easy to shut down, and it doesn't do good into dot metas, right? Like Afilok and Shadow Priest are looking to be up there. Feral Druids are up there. All these can control a Disc Priest, right? Mage, right? Mage, Feral, Ardruid, right? They all can control a Disc Priest. Then you have things like Boomkin and Death Knight and Windwalker that can go on the Disc Priest. I don't think it's higher. So you have to think of the actual meta. Holy, I think it's garbage. I think it's C tier healer. I don't think Holy's good at all. Every Holy Priest I've queued into has gone like 0-6, 1-5, and just seems like they can't heal. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to them. I just feel like they don't heal for anything. I definitely think they're the worst healer at the moment. I don't know what they could do to tune up their healing without making them broken, but something needs to happen here. Shadow Priest, I think, is A tier in most regards at this point, with the changes to Mind Flay and Surge of Insanity stacking. I do think we need Void Weaver to be buffed, personally, in order to make that school viable. But at least with Archon and all the comps, Archon will keep us in the A tier. I think we're better than Dev. I think we're better than Dev, but not better than Arcane. I think we're like tied with Boomkin in my opinion. I would say we're right in the middle. We're not the best, we're not the worst when it comes to casters. So I'm gonna put us A tier right here. Let's see here. Assassination Rogue. I actually haven't queued into a lot of them. That's the surprising thing. I've queued into a lot more Outlaws. Anyone have any opinion on where to put Assassination Rogue? I've rarely queued into them, but Outlaw seems scary. They had recent buffs, yeah, but I haven't seen any scary Assassination Rogues, right? Like, what makes them A? I don't feel like they're scary. Like, have you guys queued into Outlaw? Outlaw is like really fucking good. I don't know what happened to Outlaw, but they crank. They do a lot of damn. Their killing sprees are hitting for a shit ton too. They do decent damage, obviously. It takes the right person to control as a rogue. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. We're not going off of a person, compadre. Right? This is not, oh, this guy can make it good. A tier list, in my opinion, should be the average. Some people make tier lists on, oh, the top of the ladder. Top of the ladder is top 5, top 3, top 1%. That's not the majority of the class. The majority of the class is what I want to go off of. I don't think, I don't know if I could put Assassination Rogue higher than a B, but Outlaw Rogue is A tier. I think Outlaw Rogue's insane. I think Subtlety's also B tier. All the rogue specs have depth though, and the combat coin flip is shit. The combat coin flip, yeah, I don't know what that does, but I saw one of those things go off the rails, bro. I don't know. Every Outlaw Rogue I've queued into has done a lot of damage, but every other one has done no damage. So I don't know. We'll put them tied. How about that? We'll put them tied. I think they're both better than Asa, so I'll put Sub up here with Outlaw. If you guys think that's what it is, we'll do that. So we're gonna put Outlaw and Subtlety the same. If that's what you guys think, we'll do that. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do that. I think that's better. We can agree on that then. Ellie, I actually don't know where to put Ellie. I think Ellie is no longer S tier. I think it fell off. I think it's around Shadow Priest level. Maybe better than Shadow Priest. Yeah, maybe better than Shadow Priest. It's either Shadow Priest level or better. After the nerfs. A tier, yeah, I agree. I think it's A tier. A tier, yeah, I agree. I just don't know where on the A tier it falls. I had to spaghetti or something. What they think Ellie Shaman falls on. I think after the nerfs they are really good, but they're not S tier anymore. I'm gonna put them on Shadow Priest level, and you guys seem to agree with me on the A tier, so we'll go with that. That's what we'll go with. Let's see. Enhance. Is it as bad as BM? Do we put it on the D tier or do we put it on C tier? I actually don't know. Like, I feel like it's pretty bad. I feel like in the right hands it can do good, but I think, again, the majority is bad, right? I think on the rank 1 level they can do fine, but on if we're doing an average tier list, I think on the average player it's going to be bad, right? If BM is C, then Enhance is C. What? BM is D. BM, C, Enhance, D. Okay, well, 3 of you guys have said BM is C tier. You guys really think Enhance is worse than BM? I feel like BM's the worst spec in the game. You guys actually think Enhance is worse? Yes? BM doesn't... I don't think it does. I don't think it does, man. Alright, fine. I don't think it does, but if you guys say so, we'll put BM up a tier compared to Enhance. I think BM's the most garbage spec. Insane survivability, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Enhance is squishy, I guess. Enhance also doesn't feel like it dies a lot with all its instant healing, but hey, we'll take it there. EjrSP, I think it's above Disc. Maybe not. No, I don't. I don't agree with that. I think EjrSP is behind or tied with Disc. EjrSP does a lot of healing. I just don't think it's as good as Arjud or Evoker, but I think it's tied with Disc. I think Arjud EjrSP and Disc is tied, in my opinion. They're tied with Disc. Yeah, I have to think it goes Evoker. I think it goes Preservation, Arjud, Disc, and EjrSP are tied. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Let's see here. Affy. Ooh, S tier, in my opinion. You guys can argue against it. I know they can get locked down, but I feel like they're the best caster. I think they're like one of the best casters. I think they're not anywhere near as strong as Frost Mage, but I think they're just insane in the right hands, man. I think in the right hands, they are just insane. Personally, like I feel like a great Affylock can destroy matches. I know a lot of people might say, no, it's A tier. I think it's better than these. I think is it better than Arcane though? Yeah, where's Seabarks at? I need that. If he thinks it's better than Arcane, I'll put it on S tier. If he says no, I'm gonna put it back down. I'm gonna put it down to A tier. I don't know if he's in here still. I'm trying to think. Like, is it better than Arcane? That's kind of my thought process. If it's not, what do you guys think? Do you guys think Affy is better than Arcane? That's where we're gonna have to decide where this goes. Because I don't think it's broken, and I think S tier classes need to be looked at for brokenness. I think they're roughly the same as Arcane. Okay, yeah. We'll put it down to A tier. We'll put it right here with Arcane mages. Yeah. Demolock feels like it's, I don't know, B tier probably. I feel like Demo's B. It doesn't feel scary, but for some reason when they have all those imps out, you kind of just get cranked. Destro's B. Destro is not B. I think Destro is the worst. I think Destro is I think Destro's C tier. I feel like Destro just does no pressure. I don't feel scared from Destro at all unless it's a good Destro lock. I think the average Destro is gonna have a hard time. But to be fair, I don't think it's as bad as Fire or BM. So yeah, I'm gonna put it up here with B. I don't think it's as bad as these two, but I think it's the worst of every B class. We'll put it that way. I think it's the worst of all the Bs. Destro doesn't have to cast at all. Doesn't mean anything. Just because it doesn't have to cast, neither does Fire Mage. And Fire Mage is terrible. Like, you can't use just because it doesn't have to cast as an example if it's good or bad. Fire Mage doesn't have to cast and it's terrible. Yeah, but again, I feel like Destro damage is so negligible, but I will say I don't think it's as bad as BM or Fire. So we're just going to put it in the last of the B spec. It can do good damage if you can set it up, so I will give you guys that. I do think Destro in the right hands can just set up some goes. But I don't think the majority of players will pull it higher than that. I think most players are going to be Affy, going from 1800 plus, and I think if you're an 1800 demo or 1800 Destro to 2100, it's going to be rough for you. So that's why I want to put these at the B tier. Arms has been chunking lately, but at the same time, it just gets outshined by Fury. But I've seen some crazy Arms warriors lately. But I don't think it's as good as Rhett. I don't think it's as good as Unholy. I don't think it's as good as Windwalker. I think it's about Frost Death Knight level. Just because it's counterpart. So we're going to put it as B tier. What do you guys think about that? You guys also think Arms is B? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Fury, definitely, yeah, probably the best. You're right. I think you guys are right. Fury's probably the best melee at the moment. Because it's tankier than Feral. Right? It has more sustain and healing than Feral. Can't be kited at all, it feels like. Feral, if it has to go defensive, kind of like Shadow Priest, you can lose a lot of momentum. While going defensive doesn't really hurt you as a Fury Warrior. So I think Fury Warrior is S tier. Best of the best. Then Feral as its counterpart. I think there's only one S tier caster, which is Frost Mage, the outlier, right? It's just a clear outlier. And then the outlier for healers is definitely Preservation. What do we think? Do we have a essentially everything's essentially where it should be, give or take? Think that's a good tier list? I think that works.